Kennit the pirate. Kennit the king. Kennit is one of those characters that the entire series, you don't know whether you should be rooting for him or not. I think that's a sign of great characterization. A very human character, a not necessarily moral good person who's accomplishing good things, and so how are you supposed to feel about him? Do we want him to become king? Maybe. But first, spoiler warning for the Liveship Traders Trilogy by Hobb and Hobb. I say trilogy, I only have the second and third books. I really love this cover art. If they make hardbacks with this art, I could spend some money on that. Okay, spoiler warning out of the way. I'm going to make this video a little different than normal. I did not write a single note. No bullet points, no script, nothing. So if you normally watch my videos, comment and let me know if you think this video felt more conversational, more authentic than normal. Captain Kennit is actually one of the first characters we meet in Ship of Magic. And from the very start, it seems obvious that we're not necessarily supposed to like him as a person. He is not a kind-hearted person. He is self-centered. He's very concerned about his image and how others perceive him. He has very carefully cultivated that image. He wants to kind of manipulate how others see him. He must appear strong. He must appear well off and like he knows what he's doing all the time. Something that I thought was really interesting about Kennit was that through the entire trilogy, new things are being revealed about him the entire time. I didn't feel that way about characters like Althea, Wintrow, Kyle. I felt like you pretty much knew who that character was and you were following their journey. With Kennit, you are following his journey and finding stuff out about him. Kind of like how in the story, he has this image of how he wants people to think. It was almost like Hobb and Hobb created the character Kennit for us to think about a certain way, and then we kind of get things uncovered about him. Like the whole reason that he wants to be king. At first, it's not really clear on why he wants to be king. He's the kind of guy who wants to be in charge, wants control, wants others to adore him, wants all the loot, all the treasure. Maybe he's one of those people who thinks he knows what's best, and so he has to impose what he thinks is best onto everyone else. But then as you read through the trilogy, you get these little glimpses of what his life was like when he was younger. In some ways, it feels like he's trying to make up for his past by trying to become king. Maybe he feels like he deserves it. Finding out that he's related to a Bingtown trader family, he has aristocracy in his blood. He was never meant to just be a pirate. He was meant for more, so why not make his own destiny? But then you go even farther back to little tiny young Kennit and his father playing with him and joking with him, King Kennit, King Kennit. Like finally accomplishing that, finally becoming King Kennit like his father played with him when he was younger, proving something to the world, proving something to himself. I don't know. I thought it was really poignant having started reading about adult Kennit wanting to be king and then seeing the little glimpses of very, very young child Kennit being told that by his father, like his father was speaking the future into him. And then the characters he interacts with. Kennit was never a person who really, truly cared about another person. Caring about another person opens your heart. It makes you vulnerable. Kennit never wants to be weak or vulnerable. He keeps his heart closed off. Poor Etta. I think deep down, Etta knew, but she was willing to believe. She could see the kind of guy he was, but she needed the love. And just believing that he loved her, even if it wasn't really true, still helped her flourish and find herself. But Kennit doesn't see people as things to care about. He sees people as resources, things that can serve him, build him up. Etta is not someone he would ever give his heart to. He very carefully compartmentalizes her, and he is never willing to see her as a woman. She's the whore, and he's going to keep her in that position. He's going to hold her down, hold her back, and if that's all she is, he never has to owe her a higher position. He never has to owe her love or respect. Treating her like she still is what she was when he met her is like an excuse. But while she's there, he may as well make use of her and the image that she gives him. His relationship with Wintrow is a little more complicated. So same with Edda, he will use Wintrow to his own benefit. Whatever Wintrow can do for him, cool, extra added bonus. There is a little bit of seeing his own younger self, a little bit of that emotional draw, and he hates it. He doesn't like that Wintrow brings out those emotions in him, but he doesn't know how to stop it, and he's not willing to get rid of Wintrow. There's also the fact that he needs Wintrow around for the sake of the ship. Again, a ship to serve him, a ship to use to increase his reputation. The pirate captain with the live ship, just like Igrot. I never knew how to pronounce that. The little whispers from his charm about just repeating the past, becoming like Igrot again. Igrot. I don't know how to say that. But Kennit has so much in his past that he is hiding away, that he is making up for, and that he feels like he has to elevate himself above. He does have a lot of pain and trauma. Some of the things we find out about him, about how his family were tortured and killed, his future was stolen from him, he was made a slave on the ship, he was beaten, he was abused. A lot of those things are things that might make you really sympathize with him. He had all these terrible things happen. What do you expect of him once he grows up? But then, once he grows up, he does things that make you not sympathize with him. And it's so different from the character Kyle Haven. Kyle, we are given reasons to hate him and reasons to keep hating him the whole time. Robin Hobb never wants us to start liking Kyle or sympathizing with Kyle. Kennit, she gives us both. Reasons to sympathize, reasons to hate, reasons to go, I don't know about that. He's very selfishly attacking slavers. Not because he wanted to, not because he thinks it's the right thing to do or morally correct. He's doing it as a means to an end. Sorkor said, we're going to rescue slaves and then we can go for a live ship. Kennit just wants the live ship. He doesn't care about the slaves. But in so doing, he does free the slaves. That's good, right? And I think a lot of how we as readers are supposed to feel about Kennit is brought about in the way that Wintrow feels about Kennit. He's a pirate. He does terrible things, but he's also doing good things. So does that make him a good man or a bad man? And do we have to put him into one of those boxes? Is he a morally gray character? I think there's probably more than one type of morally gray character. If we were to paint Kennit gray, I think he leans more towards the black side than the white side. But I think the most heart-wrenching thing that we learned about Kennit was his relationship with Paragon. Because also, through the books, you're seeing a lot about Paragon and about what makes Paragon so emotionally battered and worn and crazy. In Mad Ship, he is the Mad Ship. But finding out that Kennit was a Ludluck, seeing Paragon go so crazy with anger that he killed someone because he heard that Kennit had said he always wanted a live ship. Oh, seeing into how Paragon feels about Kennit. Paragon loves him no matter what and would do anything for him. We've seen what kind of person Kennit is, especially towards the end of Ship of Destiny and how he treats Althea. That was the final straw for me for never being willing to sympathize with Kennit. He's had all this time to learn and improve. He's had the influence of good people on him, and he still chose to do a terrible and evil thing. Paragon doesn't care. Paragon will always see the little boy who hid below decks and who he always took the pain from as he could. To Paragon, Kennit is just an older version of that little boy. And at the end, that little boy grown up disregards Paragon's love and care for him. The one thing remaining on the entire Earth that still truly cares about Kennit doesn't make an impact on Kennit. Kennit still tries to kill it. Paragon comes back to Kennit. He would willingly take Kennit and sail the seas and be a pirate with him, and Kennit still convinces Paragon to sink himself again. If at any point during this trilogy you started to sympathize with Kennit, what kind of person are you? All this time, Captain Kennit had trusted to his luck and was so sure that his destiny was to be the king. Everything seemed to be working out for him. It just seemed obvious that this was where his life was leading. So did he fail his destiny? Was his death undeserved? No, it was probably deserved. But maybe his destiny was never to be king. Maybe it was just to set the things in motion, to unite the pirate isles, to find the queen of the pirates, and to be the sperm donor for the future pirate king. Maybe he was just the catalyst. Maybe that was his destiny. And I have not read further into the realm of the Elderlings yet. I don't know how far into the future it goes. I don't know if we get to see what kind of child Etta and Wintro managed to raise together, but I think they could do a pretty good job. So let me know if you were the person rooting for Captain Kennit, if you were hoping he would meet his demise like Kyle Haven, or if like Wintro you were torn and didn't know what to think. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back here for more videos. Bye. Kennit the